Yeah, I did not expect this. ReZero's back, bro. ReZero is back. When you're watching an hour and 30-minute episode, which is basically a fucking anime movie, essentially within itself, and you go through about a good chunk of like the 80 minutes being the damn greatness it is and nice, peaceful, cheery. Yeah, you have your little interesting story points that they place, like the Reinhardt storyline with his dad, and then the Garfield stuff, you know, and then the last 10 minutes, man, is like, all right, it's time to make you start to feel what ReZero was again. And I don't give a shit. I love it. Camper 15 back at it with another video for you guys. Back with more ReZero goatness. I'm not saying greatness anymore. I'm saying goatness because that's what this series is. It's a goat of a show. I'm glad ReZero's back, and I can't believe it. I actually just got done watching somebody's review about the episode, and the fact he started off the fact that it's been 4 years since season 2. I'm like, holy shit, man! It's been that long since we got ReZero. I'm like, Jesus. And then I also found out, I'm guessing we're only getting like 8 episodes to start off. We're going to take a few like breaks or a few months off for break and then come back with another 8 episodes and everything. Listen, if that's going to be the case, well, then the production's going to be damn good. By, I think, White Fox or whatever. But, geez Louise, man. I don't know how Subaru is going to get... I've said this before in my season 2 reviews. If you want to go back and get my thoughts on certain season 2 moments when he was down and dark, man, again, I don't know how he's gonna get out of this situation. And it's crazy because this member of the witches cult, Raph, was essentially controlling controlling all the people in the square. And at some point I'm just like, what the hell? Because at first I was thinking like, okay, Subaru probably like, because he was like, you need to pick this up, man. I got 4 girls I gotta go see. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's in his right mind and everything. He like, all right, pick this shit up. And he did kind of like, remember the witch's cult. What? And that's why he picked up, because it looked like to me he wasn't trying to deal with none of this. And then they just have it to where the people start listening in, and then they start getting a little bit more rowdy, and then the eyes, and then next thing you know, you see the eyes turn around. I'm like, oh shit. And next thing you know, they're like all being controlled, and this freaking crazy person, because it's not like all the witches cults members are a bunch of lunatics, drags this boy out wrapped up in freaking chains, talking about, oh well, this kid wanted to see this girl because he truly loved, and things like that, and sprouting up all this crazy stuff she was talking about. And then the moment she drops this dude on his head, all these freaking civilians along with Subaru heads just blow up. Man resets back to the part where Priscilla was talking with the bard, the girl that was singing and everything, after asking, and it's just like, and he's like, I feel sick. And I'm just like, oh shit, here we go. That GTA meme, that oh shit, here we go again. That's when, see, at that point, I would have been like, fuck. Now, mind you, how the storyline goes, Subaru has not died a long time. He hasn't died really since back in season 2, because this has been we found out this is like a 1-year time skip. Like, it's a 1-year time skip after the events of season 2. So clearly no crazy shit has happened to where he's died. So clearly this man has not died like on a consistent basis, because there really hasn't been nothing going on. This is the first time he's actually died in a year. So of course, I guess it makes sense why he would feel sick and everything to his stomach, because it's like he hasn't felt this feeling in a long time. And then you just have to where you see the bags in his eyes and the fear and it was just crazy. That whole scene was done crazy, because I'm just like watching this scene and I'm just like, what the actual hell, bro? What is going on? And I'm just like, okay, yeah, when you're dealing with the witches cult member, it ain't a good thing. And the crazy part is they also tease that gluttony is also here. And then we even see the one white haired individual because he ended up bumping into Amelia earlier in the episode. And he's like, you know, I've taken an interest in you just based off your hair. And Subaru kind of blocked him off from doing that. And I'm like, oh, that's not good because he's gonna come back and he's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna kill you for what you did to me. And we know what that guy is capable of, and it ain't good. But obviously with Gluttony here, it triggers Subaru to a point because he's like, he knows Gluttony took all of Rem's memories and everything, and even took a part of Crush's memories. And basically, it seems like that's going to be a thing because that's a reason why Anastasia brought them to this city. It's like, oh yeah, I heard rumors that, Gluttony's here. And obviously, Subaru is upset about this because when he thinks of Gluttony, he thinks of what happened with Rem and her getting her memories eaten, essentially, or people's memories of her eating. And we know that they got to defeat him to be able to have Rem back to her old self again and have people remember her again. So that's going to be an interesting storyline right then and there, and it's going to be interesting to see how these characters deal with that old issue. But Anastasia bringing them here basically kind of, I guess you can say a political play, I guess, in a weird way. She has to have her own motives outside of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let you know about the witch's cult of the Gluttony dude is here potentially, and rumors about him. But yeah, the Reinhardts. Actually, no. Before I get over with the Reinhardt stuff, the Garfield stuff was wild, man. So one, you kind of have this little story arc, I'm guessing, where he just doesn't feel like he's strong enough because Reinhardt ends up showing up again, and he ends up he tries to fight him, but Reinhardt easily blocks his attack, like just like that, and it kind of leaves Garfield kind of in the dumps a bit. I also did think it was kind of cute that the one little cat girl, I think her name was Mimi or whatever. I should remember these characters, but listen, guys, I have not watched ReZero literally in 4 years. Like I was thinking about like rewatching season 2, mostly where I last left off for season 2 in terms of me watching the English dub, because I did go back, because I was going back and rewatching season 2 in the English dub like probably 4 years ago, and then I just stopped at some point. I'll have to do that probably at some point. And you just have it to where it's like he kind of down in the dumps, but because of he lost, and it was kind of this whole thing of the fact like, oh, you shouldn't get too bent. And I think Subaru told him like, it's okay, there's always guys that are going to be stronger than you. Take no shame in that. It is what it is. But obviously Garfield's like, yeah, but I want to be stronger, and I want to be the strongest, because obviously he wants to protect. And then after like saving these kids about almost getting crashed into a boat, he ends up walking one of the kids home. And then the kid makes a mention. I'm like, oh, I don't want my sister to get all upset at me. My sister gets it. And he's like, yeah, I understand. I'm in the same boat. And next the sister shows up, and it's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then next this woman comes in. And then Garfield is like, wait a goddamn minute. And he puts two and two together. And that individual looks just like his mom. If not, that might actually be his mom. Now, from what I remember correctly, his parents ended up dying. His mom died after they left the sanctuary. Now, unless that was Cap and they found a way to stay alive, and just live off, I don't know, because they left him in the sanctuary. Garfield was just only a baby. And the fact that this woman looks like his mother, and the fact that it might actually be his mother, and the fact that she has 2 kids now, it's just like, okay. That's something that's an interesting story point, because it's going to be like, what the fuck was going on there? Is that actually Garfield and Frederica's mother? Or is this just some woman that looks a lot like her, and Garfield's just getting the wrong interpretation? But we don't know where Garfield's at currently right now. Even with the Mimi, they were out the entire night. So whatever the hell happened, who knows? But I guess we'll find out in the next episode or whatever. So yeah. The Reinhardt stuff, that was crazy. Within that whole thing with seeing his dad, and his dad kind of, well, being kind of a dick, I guess you can say. And obviously he's serving under Priscilla, who Priscilla kind of pays him no mind. She just calls him peasant. On top of it, you kind of get this nice talk with Wilhelm before I get back to the Reinhardt stuff with Subaru, where, because in this episode it's revealed that hey, Reinhardt is actually Wilhelm's grandson. And basically because of the events in the past with his wife dying and everything and kind of shunning away Reinhardt, um, he's kind of had it was an interesting thing to figure out. Like he's having a tough time in terms of wanting to talk to him and explain the stuff about the white whale from season one and everything and tell him how that all went. And it looks like they're gonna have a moment because they're like making this nice little breakfast, which I think is like probably like some sort of weird omelet or whatever that they're making. And they're having like this bonding moment. And it's like, okay, maybe these two are gonna talk and they're gonna hash things out and everything, and they're gonna be family again. And next thing you know, you have the drunken father, aka the son of Wilhelm, just pop in and just be like, oh, pathetic, and everything. And apparently he has no aspirations of giving um their family estate to Reinhardt in terms of him being the controlling person. I wonder if like Reinhardt would have to kill him to get that thing. I don't think he would kill his own father, but you get my thing. You get what my drift and what in terms of what I'm trying to say. But he is being very disrespectful. Subaru was obviously getting pissed off. To the point like we even have a conversation later with Julius where Subaru even it's still funny how Subaru hates Julius, which is something I actually quite forgot from season one, that he actually does hate him. Um, and it was cool to see like Julius kind of bowing his head, thanking Subaru, like, hey, thanks for like being the one to get angry. If anything, you getting angry calmed everybody else down. And it's funny because Subaru's like, well, dude, you don't need me to do it. Like, be your own person, damn man. He's like, just be the Jules that you need to be and everything. And he's like, oh, I haven't heard that line in a long time. It's also interesting to see that he has a brother too, which is crazy. Didn't think he has a brother. His brother clearly ain't the fighting type, but you get my point. But yeah, seeing that whole storyline, so that's gonna be an interesting way to see where that storyline goes, because now there's a rift thanks to the Reinhardt's father, aka Wilhelm's son. And it's gonna be interesting to see how Wilhelm and Reinhardt try to reconnect and rekindle the relationship. I'm really hoping that this doesn't mean I'm getting just seeing this alone and this whole angle and the storyline of Wilhelm and Reinhardt trying to reconnect. And the fact that this season looked like it's gonna get crazy, because I know they said the people ReZero fans who read the light novel said, and I think they said like this is arc 5 and arc 6 or whatever. Shit's about to get crazy, and it's probably some of the best shit that ReZero's ever done. I just have a sneaking suspicion with this storyline between Reinhardt and Wilhelm, it's thrown out the death flags for Wilhelm potentially dying this season and being dead, and probably maybe even sacrificing his life for Reinhardt, even though we know Reinhardt's like super strong. Now we don't know if he's like if the witch's cult members are able to overpower him, but you get what I'm trying to say. But that was crazy within itself. And yeah, other than that, there's really nothing else I can take note of. The bard was cool to see. The girl, it was funny how freaking Subaru messed up the negotiations of getting the crystal, and because he was holding the girl, and the merchant was like, "Get off my freaking girl, damn it!" But it was cool to hear her, and then they had like a nice little singing duet, everything, and she seems like a very cool character. And it was actually interesting the fact that also I forgot to mention too that she, Purcell's like, why don't you join me, and everything. And she's like, as much as I'd like to, I can't because, it's in the family of me being a traveling bard essentially. So I can't. So as much as I'd like to and appreciate the offer, I apologize, but I can't do this. And it's funny because Subaru and Emilia were kind of shocked. They're like, oh, well, we were shocked that you didn't like raise a freaking your sword at her. And she's like, well, the one thing is I respect the fact that she has her own goals and her own dreams, and it is what it is, and I'm sorry for putting that on you. She was like, well, it's fine, I'm sorry for rejecting you. And she's like, it is what it is. So it's cool to kind of see her side of Priscilla, to where it's like she doesn't get everything that she wants, but the way she's talking about like, oh, don't worry. I did like her little beef between her and Felt. That was funny because Felt was kind of just like, oh, please, I ain't gonna be crying if you end up beating me and becoming the ruler, because remember these people, Anastasia, Krush, Felt, Amelia, and Priscilla, they're all in competition to be the next ruler of this whole country, essentially. So that's the thing. Yeah. That's basically it. That's basically it. Again, like I said, all the girls, all the candidates still look like snacks. All the candidates still look like snacks. I don't know who's my favorite out of the candidates. Obviously, Amelia's one, but listen, I can't lie. I'm simping. I saw Anastasia for the first time, in the first time in this this episode. I'm like, I know she kind of messed with Subaru in like season one, but I'm like, Jesus, she's so damn hot and attractive. I'm like, my God. Like Julie's a lucky man to be working alongside her. But um anyways, that's basically all I gotta say. The only other thing is like, Jesus, I don't know how Subaru's gonna get out of this situation because the thing is he responds back so close to where the incident happens. And it's gonna be like, okay, can he avoid? You could probably think like, okay, maybe he avoids this, but listen, every time you think it's something easy that he could potentially do, it doesn't end up being easy. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he gets out of this way, out of this loop, in terms of dealing with it. Maybe he has to find the boy she captures, so then it prevents not only him from dying, but a lot of other people dying. But again, it ain't gonna be easy, man, and it's such a quick turnaround. It's gonna be like, all right, he's gonna have to come part he's gonna have to die a few times before he figures out a way to get around this whole situation. So yeah, no. If you want to ask me in terms of gruesome deaths, where this rank is in my top five. Again, I have to go back and maybe look at a video of like all of his deaths in the anime. But this is definitely a top five most gruesome death. I still think the freaking the bunnies eating him alive was the most gruesome death he's had. I still to this day, I remember watching that first episode. I had to actually like look away because I'm like, holy shit, this thing is actually gory as fuck. This thing, it was still gory. They do kind of censor because they have the color palette of like the red and black background and everything. But even then, it's like it was still a gory death, and it's probably a top five like death in terms of Subaru and everything. And yeah, but I don't know what Subaru's gonna get out of this. Like I said, like I will continue to say every single episode until the season ends. But that's the one thing I love about ReZero. I always am intrigued to see how Subaru gonna get out of these situations, the freaking trials and tribulations, the damn near to the point like this man gets driven to insanity. It takes for him to get out of a situation just to keep the ones he cares about alive, and not only that, but keep himself alive too. So yeah, we'll see. We will see, but very much enjoyed it. I still, man, I loaded up this morning and I'm just see hour and 30 minutes. I'm like, that's the ReZero I know because they be giving us some long ass episodes all the damn time. Can't wait to see how the opening and ending turn out whenever those appear because holy hell, man, you know, ReZero they want to make sure they show as much content. So if it's at the sacrifice of getting no openings or endings, they'll take it. And again, I'm all for it. So we'll see. Anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button if you want to get more ReZero content. Apologies for getting this video up a day later. One, I got home super late. I then had to watch the episode, which took another good hour to watch. And yeah, so that's the thing. And plus, by the time this video is going up, I'm gonna be on a plane ride flying out to Atlanta. And just for future references, for any other animes that I'm gonna be talking about this season, there will be no reviews until I get back because, well, I'm going to be out of town, but I will catch up with some of the animes that I have watched and I'm intrigued with talking about, and I'll see where that goes on. But till then, guys, see you guys next Wednesday for ReZero if you're only checking out my ReZero reviews. But till then, guys, peace.